Hey guys, welcome back to So Back Sports, and I'm so back with another video. And we just got some breaking news. But before we get into that, we just hit 600 subscribers on the channel. Appreciate every single one of you for tuning into the podcast episodes and the live streams as well. Really, really appreciate that. And we're trying to get to 700 subscribers pretty soon if we can. So, as usual, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, follow the podcast. Try to get as much Bears content as possible, especially when the draft upcoming in a couple of weeks from now. We're going to be going live, so be sure to stay in tune for that because that's going to be pretty fun. And I'm excited to interact with everyone, especially when the Bears are making the picks as well. So enough of me yapping. Let's get on to the big news today, and that is Kyler Gordon, the man of the hour, officially etching his name into Chicago Bears for the Chicago Bears team for the next couple of years till 2028, signing that $40 million extension for 3 years, and $31 million of it are guaranteed as well. And this is also from Adam Schefter as well. Pretty much saying the same thing because listen, this is big news, especially him being the top paid slot corner of in the NFL. Pretty big news as well. And from the initial standpoint, people that aren't necessarily aware of the Chicago Bears would be like, "Isn't that kind of an overpay at this point, or isn't this a little bit too much for a slot corner, especially for him being the top paid, especially for him being only 25 years old?" Well, no. And here's why. Because Kyler Gordon right now is only 25 years old. And, with this season he had last year, he was pretty productive. 15 games, had about, I want to say 25 or so total, no, 75 total tackles, including 4 for loss, 5 for pass breakups, 1 forced fumble in 15 games, with also 5 interceptions as well in an entire career. And listen, he's only been on the roster since 2022, since he was a second round pick for Ryan Poles. Really good move, genuinely really good move from Ryan Poles. And we've seen this before, mainly because we paid him at such a young age right now. And it's also not an overpay as well. It's only $40 million over the course of 3 years, with 31 of it being guaranteed. So it's not too much of a cap hit per se, and it's only like averaging $13 million per season as well in the contract. And given his age as well, you got to take that into consideration because if you look at what we did with the Jalen Johnson contract, because Jalen Johnson, you know, had a really good year in 2023. And in the offseason, it was kind of like, okay, where is this contract? You got to pay him. And it turned out that he got a $76 million contract. And that contract is aging very, very, very well because this is what happens. A lot of GMs and a lot of ownership typically try to wait a little bit too long, and then it eventually ends up that they're, paying at premium on top of what they could have paid, like if they had signed them a little earlier. And that's one thing I really respect Ryan Poles for doing is not taking that risk of waiting too long and then eventually overpaying and giving into the demands, given that the current market isn't asking or willing to give up a lot just to get uh, your corner, or in this case for a slot receiver. And the thing is, with Kyler, not slot receiver, slot corner, excuse me. With this case, Kyler Gordon is really young and he's shown a lot of progress, especially a lot of growth over the course of the years as a Chicago Bear. And to that was one of the big key things that Ryan Poles needed to have done, and he finally did. After all the moves that he's made, with getting an offensive line, getting Dennis Allen, Ben Johnson, etc., etc. This was another key move that he had to make, and it's just another part of the huge checklist that we have going into this upcoming season that needs to be checked off. And by all means, I really like this move. Genuinely like this move, and I just think that with Dennis Allen in play, Kyler Gordon will definitely be unlocked. Um, there's no surprise in that because Dennis Allen had to have signed off on this in order for it to kind of go through. And He even had some good things to say as well because you know, with Dennis Allen's pedigree, it's really important that they, they find a good corner that will stay long term and kind of develop along with the team. And Kyler's already been there for a while, and Dennis will definitely utilize him in the secondary. But besides that, going into that, I think that overall, it just continues to show Ryan Poles and this front office is taking this offseason real seriously. And I think, like, even last year when we paid Jalen Johnson, we still had a lot of holes as well. I'm not saying that we're just completely done there because we have a lot of questions to ask, like Jaquan Brisker on the other side. Um, and maybe drafting his replacement as well, if in case another injury does happen. Knock on wood, it doesn't. But you can't really expect those things. So a lot of things that like in the secondary spot, we're already pretty set, but this solidifies one aspect of it. And I think that this will be a good turning point going into what the Bears will kind of do in the later rounds in the draft because they have to look at some part of getting another corner or like another young corner as well to kind of add to that depth that they kind of need, especially late in the season when you kind of need to, when your reserves are maybe depleted and you kind of need to rely on those young talent as well. But let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. I genuinely like this move a lot because, this is genuinely like it's not like anything crazy, but at the same time, I'm just glad that it just had to happen and it ended up happening sooner rather than later. But let me know down in the comments below what you think about the Kyler Gordon contract. That's it for this today's video. Just wanted to give you my thoughts on what happened. Be sure to check out and keep up to date with the content that I'm putting out by liking and subscribing to the channel. I will have a draft stream for the first and second day of this NFL draft coming up soon. So if you're interested in watching and kind of tuning in to chat, feel free to subscribe and keep in touch with that. And as always, guys, we'll see you guys in the next one.